If you're young enough to only know of the pre-internet age by reputation or old enough that it's all become a blur, you might get the impression from sources like this show that every damn idea that ever got molded into plastic, divided arbitrarily into rival good and evil factions, blister packed and shipped off to Toys R Us automatically got its own tie-in TV cartoon, then obvious as little more than an infomercial, but today inexplicably remembered as some kind of classic by increasingly depressing Generation Xers. The truth is, well, they tried, yeah, but for every Transformers, a G.I. Joe, a Masters of the Universe, a Thundercats, there were the guys who just didn't make it. Let me show you some.
Inhumanoids! Inhumanoids!
The evil that lies within. From down in the fiery depths of the earth where nightmares begin.
Inhumanoids! Inhumanoids!
The evil that lies within.
The Inhumanoids were three giant monsters named Tendril, Decompose, and Metlar. They were technically the bad guys, the good guys being some trees, some rock guys, and humans in power armor. They and their short-lived 13-episode cartoon are fondly remembered now, but at the time they didn't really catch on. Mostly because the only ones anybody really wanted were the full-size 14-inch Inhumanoids themselves, who were hard to come by and very expensive. Speaking of expensive, did you think Japan's beloved Zoids didn't make it to the United States until the 90s? Nope.
Robo-Strucks. Two opposing armies of prehistoric battle beasts. Robo-Strucks. They fear nothing.
Robo-Strucks, 1985. They took original Japanese Zoids, painted some of them in bad guy red and some of them in good guy blue, and didn't really develop any kind of narrative beyond that. Today, the Robo-Strucks repaints are kind of collectible because, yeah, they were expensive. Tomy charged too much for them and they didn't sell. And speaking of robots...
Put the future in your hands. Your own creation to command.
The amazing world of robotics, from the smallest vehicle to the biggest robot. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Parts, motors, motion, you control it all.
Robotics. Buildable, customizable robot toys with motorized joints you could remote control. One of the coolest cult classic toys ever. In fact, the current owners of the brand are still making and selling new backwards compatible parts for this. Awesome. Not as awesome, trying to turn it into a Transformers knockoff animated series without asking, are these things gonna look good in animation?
To survive a cosmic storm that devastates their planet, the Protectons and Terracores are forced to transfer their essences into the huge, powerful bodies of robotics.
Robotics.
And once again, the ancient hostilities between the valiant Protectons and the evil Terracores erupt into violence.
Meanwhile, Max Steel's RoboForce, no relation, were...
Max Steel's RoboForce!
Hundreds of conquerors about to attack Max Steel the leader! Wrecker the Demolisher to the rescue!
Ideal's new RoboForce. Warrior robots with gripper bases and crusher arms, each sold separately.
I guess they kind of looked like R2-D2 knocked up a Dalek, maybe, and they had big suction cups instead of feet, so you could stick them to the wall, I guess. I guess they look pretty cool. They got a TV miniseries like Transformers did, but they didn't get a series out of it. Here's a unique case. Black Star was a 13-episode cartoon Filmation put together in 1981, just before the big toy-to-series explosion that came after the Reagan administration deregulated the rules against TV shows just being commercials. The show was pretty cool. Filmation spent the late 70s mastering this stuff.
John Blackstar, astronaut, is swept through a black hole. Trapped on the planet Sagar, Blackstar is rescued by the tiny Trobit people. In turn, he joins their fight for freedom against the cruel overlord, who rules by the might of the Power Star. The Power Star is split into the Power Sword and the Star Sword. And so, with Star Sword in hand, Black Star, together with his allies, sets out to save the planet Sagar. This is his destiny. I am John Blackstar.
The show didn't catch on, but 2 years later, Filmation would reuse some of its basic concepts, and probably a lot of the drawings, animation, and sound effects, since this was Filmation, when it picked up the license from Mattel to make a series out of Masters of the Universe. That show, of course, became an absolutely massive hit, and the action figures were so popular that every other toy company wanted a bite. So Galoob took a shot at a toy line based on the cancelled Black Star show.
Laser lights, it's Black Star.
Defender of right, he's ready to fight. The evil overlord.
Laser lights,
yeah, those weren't very popular either. Do we got time for one more? Okay.
In the far reaches of the universe is the star planet Symbion, a perfect world until their biological experiments exploded. As mutant life forms ravaged their global paradise, a new and incredible species emerged, the Sectars. With Prince Dargon leading his warriors of the Shining Realm against the evil General Spytrax.
The Sectars. Basically Thundercats, but with bugs. Another property that got a miniseries pilot, but did not get picked up. Possibly because they put way more effort into the commercials.
A civilization dies, but its secrets are preserved in a mysterious place called the Hive. Now, good and evil Sectors battle for those secrets. You control the monster Nar, the giant destructible.
The most common reason cited for why the Sectors didn't take off? They were too freaky looking. Even the good guys had this weird blue bug eye thing going on. And when you're a little kid, being able to tell the good guys from the bad guys is kind of really important. And yeah, those were some of the also-rans. Next week, something else. I'm Bob, and that's The Big Picture.